So a client has sent me some knives to sharpen, so I thought I'd just take you along for the sort of initial assessment I do on the knives before I get down to the actual sharpening aspect. So I came in a bag with some bubble wrap. Just opened them up and had a quick look. What the client has done, and what I really like, is they've sent me a envelope which is all prepaid and written up. That way I don't make any mistakes on their address or anything. I can just finish off the knife, send it back to them. I'll reuse the bubble wrap. They've sent me 4 little knives here. And what I first do is just open them up, have a quick look, see what we've got. So this is a Gerber. It's got a nice hollow grind, pretty sharp tip. It's a bit grubby, and you can see at the edge, someone's had to go hand sharpening it, and more material's been taken off one side than the other. It's got a few little chips out of it as well. It'll be some sort of stainless steel. I don't know what, it doesn't say on the blade. I just like to see if it'll cut paper, and this one will. You can feel it dragging as it does, so especially near the tip. Doesn't want to cut there, so yeah. There'll be a little bit of damage around that edge, or it's rolled. Now a knife can be sharp and it can be blunt. It can be blunt due to 3 real reasons. First, just at the factory, they might not have finished the edge. So I've had this before where they've taken it most of the way, but they haven't fully joined it up. And in this situation, what happens is there's just a flat point running all the way along the edge of the blade. This one does have an edge, hasn't got that, but the other reasons they can be blunt is either the edge has rolled, and this one cuts okay, but again near the tip it's catching. It doesn't like to cut. You can see it's ripping more than. So if the edge is rolled over, just the very tip has been bent, and that creates what they call a wire edge, and this makes it difficult to cut through any kind of medium. Paper is a good medium because it'll kind of tell you what's going on after a wee while. This thing's ancient, carbon steel. There's no name on the blade that I can discern. A fair bit of patina, but that'll protect it from further rust. It's been sharpened many, many times. You can see the pattern's gone all over it. And the edge. Interesting to see whether this cuts paper. Not a sausage, not even right on the tip. No. So this one, sort of funny old wooden handle, partial tang. Pins have been filled with epoxy. That one looks like it's got a screw in there. I suspect this has been, if it's not handmade, it's certainly been sort of finished by someone at some point. It's had varnish maybe on it. I'm not sure, but it's got a whole pile of gunge in there. We'll get it tidied up. And the sheath is pretty old and stiff and been repaired by the looks of things. And again, we'll put a little bit of leather preservative into that. I'd really like to make it a new sheath, but that wasn't part of my brief. Anyway, that'll be fun. We'll get that going. And then the final reason why a knife could be blunt is that the edge has taken some kind of damage. So it's impacted something harder than the steel, and like a wire edge, that edge is either chipped or it's actually flattened both sides, which is rare as anything, but if you hit something hard straight down, you could do that depending how hard or soft the metal is. So this thing here, cold steel, broken skull, Steve Austin, CTS XHP, Taiwan. It's got some sort of coating on it. It's actually got a fairly good edge on it, but I can see at the same time that there's all sorts of chips going on. So it just looks to me like this one, well, I don't know what to say, but it hasn't been treated well. Okay, so it's cutting paper, especially up to the start, but as we go along, it hits those chips and it doesn't want to cut. But it should. Again, not a great deal of work involved in, oh yeah, you can just feel it with your fingers, just completely rolled over there. So what I'll do, the client hasn't said what sort of an edge he wants on these, so I'll probably make them either 20 or less, maybe 18, and we'll take them up from absolute rough 120 probably all the way up to 4,000. Some of them, depending how they feel and look after that, I might take them up to 8,000. And then what I can do is take them all the way up to 60,000. That'll be a complete mirror polish, beautiful edge, but more prone to damage because it'll be super thin at that point. These are clearly sort of hunting knives. I'm not really sure about this one, maybe an EDC knife. So some people would argue that you don't need to take it that high. I agree, you probably don't, but I like to, just because I think a polished edge is a great and better slicer. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll use this little jeweler's loop with light on it, examine the edge, and where I said there was damage and roll over, oh yeah, you can just clearly see, well I can see, you won't be able to see with this, the edge is really taking some knocks. And there's actually bits of metal sticking out. Always worried that this is so faced I'm gonna cut my nose off when I use it. So we'll take those down, and then I won't show you the whole process because it's fairly slow and boring, but we'll do a cut test afterwards once I've finished them all, and you can see what they come out like. But yeah, if you're thinking about getting your knife sharpened by me, this is how I do my initial assessment. Cheers.